And it's not that I'm against MOOCs. I mean, years ago, in the 90s, I was approached by the president of the Learning Resource Network to do an online course about designing online instruction. And at that point in time, he said to me, I think we could get 1,000 people into this. And I looked at him and I said, are you out of your mind? So when I look today, it looks at 100,000, and I think, 1,000, not so much anymore. And true to form, we did have 500 students in that first class, and it was an eye-opening experience as an instructor. And it did teach me, okay, we've got to break this down. I have now become a CEO of a large corporation, and I need to break this into groups and mobilize those groups so that they still feel like they can interact with me, but I don't have 500 emails coming at me every day. So that's what I learned. I guess I was an early MOOCite, and I didn't even know it. I think an instructor needs to realize that they do need to be present, that even if they've pre-recorded content, even if they've set up the entire course, it doesn't mean that they can leave learners to themselves, because they really do still need to mentor. They still need to be there. They may even to help students find each other in a MOOC. For instance, if you have very high achievers in a class, for me, they become co-instructors with me, where I can say, why don't you join this group over here? Because I know I don't say this to the student, but I, in my mind, am thinking, I know that they need a little bit more help. So that high achiever is going to raise the level of the discussion. So I need to know my students well enough to know where to combine them, how to get them to engage with one another. And you don't learn that just by a bio. You learn that through icebreakers at the beginning of a course, where you get to know someone, not just academically, but there's a social component to this too. That humanizes it a bit more. And I know that term is overused so much, that we're humanizing. Education is built on relationship and humanization. So that's what we need to remember, no matter what environment we're in, what learning. It's the learning experience regardless of environment. That's number one. I think there are differences. I've often been asked the question, do you think there are topics that cannot be taught online? And from the very beginning, I thought, no, I think there's a way you can figure out just about anything. And I've even seen dancing classes done online fairly well. But I think there's differences in the way students are approached. And I'm thinking of computer science in particular, and computer science and programming and how you teach that online. And I'm not qualified to speak to that, but I know that's very different than, say, a philosophy course would be. One is going to be much more project-oriented. The other one's going to be much more discussion-oriented. So you have, like any other course, you have to look at your learning outcomes and map things to those outcomes that say, this is the activity that I want for that outcome that's going to help process that and generate new knowledge for that outcome. And this is the technology I'm going to use within that activity because it promotes, it supports it. So it's still everything's still mapped to the learning outcomes, and you go from there.